through two heads.
There's ricochet involved, and you want to make sure you're killing the right person too. You want to make sure because you don't know. There's other prisoners there.
You ever watch? You know that part of Inglourious Basterds? We remember the film that they were showing at the theater where they all died. It's just basically that one sniper that's in the tower.
Okay.
And he's just basically killing a bunch of Americans in that one tower, and they couldn't blow down the tower for some odd reason. They could have had something like that going on. That would have been pretty cool. Just a bunch of snipers taking down some saviors from where they were shooting. But yeah, they do have explosives, so I guess that wouldn't have worked.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, they could be a little more mobile. I don't know.
Nah.
You could. I don't know why they're two snipers and they're in one spot. Actually, I guess that was the only spot that they had.
Only one sniper? They only have one gun.
Do they?
Sasha's the one who's going to take the shot.
Okay, I thought they both had their own gun, or so they're alternating.
Well, I think they have different guns, but they only have one big sniper. And they're taking different turns looking through the scope,
probably
because they want to see what's going on. But they hear Eugene on the walkie-talkie requesting more walkers in a really long-winded way, and Rosita and Sasha say that there's a change of plans, so they're going to go and try and rescue him. Gregory,
wait, just wanted to say, remember the way Eugene sounded on the walkie? Yeah. This is Eugene, Chief Alexander. I am Negan, as I've always been. I'm Negan, and here on out, and everything. He just keeps saying he's Negan.
And he calls himself a doctor.
And he calls himself a doctor as well.
Dr. Eugene Porter, head of blah, blah.
Yeah. And he's just saying, I'm Negan, and just to rub it in their face, to say, there may be a reason why we can't get Eugene out. He keeps calling himself Negan.
Yeah.
And so he's totally brainwashed. And it's just okay, yeah, we get it, Eugene. Yeah, you said you were Negan 4 times.
Yeah, we got it. He really wants to sell it, though, to Negan.
It's like he knew they were there.
Yeah.
Listening in.
Well, you got to sell it. He's happy there. I think he's finally being respected.
Oh.
Gregory talks to Jesus. Who threatens him, tells him there's too many people staying in his trailer, that they'll need to be split up. So he's just trying to split up the group, trying to mess with things. He's saying, Jesus, I thought you were my friend, but you're not my friend. And, bad things can happen to people who aren't my friends. So,
bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. And then he gets some liquor delivered to his office, tequila.
Right.
And Jesus leaves, and that's when Daryl jumps up. Runs into the Barrington house, says, "Where's Sasha? Where's Rosita?"
Yeah.
That's all we see of that.
That's it from Hilltop. So basically, time is very scarce right now in Hilltop, because if Gregory could use his advantage for power, and I don't even think he knows that there's a militia going on right now in Hilltop.
No, he
doesn't know at all.
He's out of the loop. But he doesn't want things being planned outside of his edge.
Yeah.
So Daryl. No, we moved on from Daryl. So we get Eugene talking with one of the guards. It's nighttime. Very quickly, the guard is shot down, and Rosita comes to free him. Eugene cowers on the floor, crying, refuses to go with her, says he didn't ask her to come, so just go. Smart move by Eugene, because if I was Eugene, this looks like a ragtag operation. I don't want to get in with them and probably just get killed a few minutes later, because I'm turned my back.
What about the fact that he's maybe, if he, let's say he did some sort of cry for an SOS for the saviors to help him out there, because would you say here, is it questionable that he's actually trying to sell himself to be a savior just as an act, and he's really Alexandrian, or is he really just a savior, and that was the best move he could make at the moment and run back inside?
No, I think he's a savior now.
You think he's a savior? Okay, that's fine.
I feel like he is going to pick the side of least resistance all the time.
But now they had a gun and a way for him to get out. So I don't know. He said just go,
but the war is still not ready to be fought. And he knows that okay, you're coming to save me, but you're also on a suicide mission.
Yeah.
So what is going to happen to me when you guys die?
And then what precedes this? You're thinking to yourself, man, I wonder what's going on with Eugene, because if he just ran in there and then
he's got to say something because a guard just died.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm so surprised he wasn't more blatant on the whole SOS. There's an intruder, and trying to call the saviors on the walkie. I guess maybe he didn't have one, but.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to rat them out right away. He's just
why not? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you if you're a savior?
Okay. He's a savior as far as he's not going to go out of his way to get people who especially Rosita killed. Rosita, you shouldn't have been here. I'll give you a couple of minutes before other people find out, but I don't want anything to do with this because my life is going to be at risk, and there's no consideration for me. I would be really upset because Eugene has a good life right now. He doesn't have to he's not even killing anybody. He's just doing his thing.
Right, what he's good at.
Yeah. But Rosita's real upset. Thinks that he is just a
coward,
bottom feeder at this point.
Yeah. But really, technically, he's not. He's well up in the chain, actually, in the chain of command up there. So
yeah, and it's like, you don't know what he's doing. Maybe he is planning something from the inside.
Yeah, for all they know.
There's more planning than you've done, Rosita.
Yeah.
So Sasha and Rosita now prepare to go inside the gates. This is after Eugene runs back in. Sasha, though, at the last moment, locks Rosita out, telling her it's not her time. And
the stupidest thing you could do.
And then she runs in, killing another guard on her way. But they've had this... I don't like it. Ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, like, the whole point was for her to take the shot, and then it's like, no, let me go commit suicide. Let me go kamikaze.
Yeah, what's the point of going together if he's going to lock your... You need two people. Two people, it's going to be better than one. Someone to watch your back. They just talked about how they have each other's back. You can't have somebody's back when you do it alone.
No, this is completely uncalled for. I still don't see why her drive was more than reason. Rosita, strode, she was striding for this moment, and then Sasha takes that away from her completely, and it's like, she goes and tries to steal her show. I just feel like, they're still trying to just. I think it's just. I don't know. I don't even think you could almost think that Sasha's not being sincere about this. It's like, no. I want this all for myself. Bye.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing ever. I mean, like, we were just talking about how, like, what Morgan did, last week was like, it was poorly written. You think to yourself, why would you want to go in that direction? And now the same thing with Sasha here too. I don't understand who's right. Well, last week it was Gimple. I don't know who wrote this episode. I'm thinking to myself, wow, like this isn't making any sense. Like, to get from point A to point B, I'm thinking there could have been so many better ways to go through it. I can't think of anything, but if you have, a good half a year to plan what's going to happen, this is what you come up with.
Yeah. Yeah, and this was, so much forced, not dialogue, but...
the dialogue is amongst the things that are forced, for sure.
Forced, like, progression between these two characters, only for it to lead to nothing, because in the end, she still wants to go it alone, only it's another... Now it's Sasha who wants to do it alone.
Yeah, so, and it made no sense.
And it makes Rosita run away crying.
It made more sense for Rosita to do that than Sasha.
Yeah. It's just like a flip-flopping on the, that doesn't... I don't understand it. It's frustrating because this whole episode was leading up to them finally working together.
Right.
They have that moment where they trust each other, they're in it together, and then they're not.
But then judging by how it ends, maybe there's more to it than this. We don't know.
Because Rosita runs off crying, then we're pretty sure she just sees Daryl standing off in the distance, right?
No.
Not Daryl.
I think it's Dwight. Why would you keep that in the... Why, like, okay, look, here's the thing. Okay, I'm not being entirely conclusive on this, but to draw two conclusions. Okay, so let's say it's Daryl, because last thing you hear, it's Daryl saying, where did Rosita go? So you figure he's on his way to the sanctuary. Okay? Yeah. Why wouldn't you show Daryl?
Because this is just how the show works. They want to keep you in a mystery for no reason.
Fine. There's that's a viable answer. Or it's Dwight.
Could be Dwight, but does Dwight still have a crossbow?
Yeah, he does.
Dwight still has a crossbow.
He does have a crossbow. Okay, that's why. And he has the same stupid hair. So they pretty much have the same shadow. So unless there's a third person that looks similar to Daryl and Dwight, I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah, but they have not shown enough of Dwight wanting to turn on Negan yet.
Well, really, I don't know. Maybe this time you'll have a reason. But this thing's... We've been talking about how this is poorly written anyway, so they'll have some poor reason for him to turn on him. I don't know. I mean, it's these things everything's being back asswards right now. That's what we're talking about. Just Rosita's be the one who should be running into the sanctuary, just going on a killing spree. Sasha goes and do it. Yeah. So I don't know what's gonna happen now. So let's say it is Dwight, and I'm gonna be disappointed if it is Daryl, because why would you keep him in the shadow and suspended and hold us to suspense to see that it's Daryl?
Yeah, but for something like that, I'm just like, okay, The Walking Dead. I'm used to you making weird decisions like this.
Yeah, I know. But
the weirdest decision is Daryl to go back alone. Maybe he went back with Jesus. Maybe. I hope he went back. If he went back, he better have gone back with Jesus. But in no way should you be anywhere close to that sanctuary,
right?
At this point,
you've already escaped there.
You're way more useful
outside
of it, like in a war situation, like with an army, not going back to rescue two people that were stupid enough to leave in the first place.
Yeah, for sure.
If they were stupid enough to leave, what are you going to do? You're going to go down there and convince them to leave again? And if it's Dwight,
he might be not turning against it. He might be turning Rosita in. So maybe if we see more teamwork with Sasha and Rosita in the inside trying to escape, maybe we might see that. Maybe. I don't think so. Yeah. I think that's the right way to go about it, but I don't think the showrunners wrote it like that. If they did, I'll be extremely surprised.
Yeah. And the last thing we saw of Dwight is Dwight still being on Negan's side, turning in Dr. Carson. so that
Was he there on the truck when he brought in Dr. No, they
No.
weren't on the cars. But
No,
did
that's all
he
different
even
group.
make an appearance in this episode at all if it wasn't for that shadow?
nope.
Okay.
No, so it'd
Yeah.
be a big jump for us to, and I'm not saying he's above doing that because every time we see his character, he is in a different state of mind,
Right.
A different,
Very inconsistent.
state of character. So,
Yeah, totally inconsistent.
and that's the episode. That
We
is
got that
the other
through,
side.
We got through there quickly,
'Cause
right?
nothing happened in this episode.
I'm glad. I'm glad we got through this quick, but like I'm glad in terms of like, I mean, like
so boring, and the character moments did not pay off. It wasn't enough.
no.
Biggest stress-inducing moment would have been
Sasha
Daryl
running in.
and Maggie almost getting caught in the basement.
Oh,
But we
okay.
know they're not going to get caught.
Right.
It's just nobody was going around looking for them, and they didn't even kill him. And it would have been a stupid idea to kill him. This whole episode, there was
Everything.
no stakes. I didn't care, and
This
I
is
want to
pretty bad.
care.
Yeah, no.
But 2 bad episodes in a row
Yeah.
does not make me happy. Not make me a happy camper,
No.
David.
No. We
We
got,
got
what,
2 episodes left. It's
two. I thought it
supposed-
was 3 actually. No, wait.
This is episode 14. We got the
Oh, yeah.
the next episode is supposed to be pretty big.
Is it Greg Nicotero directing?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying it's supposed to be pretty big because that's the way shows go. You're supposed to have a pretty big second to last episode.
Yeah, but we're talking about The Walking Dead. Like they're anti-conventional for
They
what you're supposed
do.
to do for a good show.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not. It's, we can't. Yeah, I don't know. I think we've dissed this enough.
And I apologize for being so negative, but that's how I feel, and I don't want to.
Why you have to apologize?
When there's a
This is why
good
we do
episode,
this.
yeah. When there's a good episode, I'm gonna talk about it like it's a good episode.
When
Even
was there a
last-
good episode? Was it just the season premiere? That's it?
There've been a few episodes, like even the last week's episode, I didn't hate, and I don't think I trashed it a lot. I
You mean
tried
like
to
more
find
with the
the
one
stuff I
more?
liked.
Yeah, was Morgan killing?
Yeah, see, I didn't find it that bad of an episode. I just hated Morgan. So within the context of the show, I found him to be make really bad decisions.
You know what the weird thing is that Morgan killing Richard was still aligns with his philosophy because he kept the peace as a bigger picture thing.
that
So
does
kinda
not align with his philosophy
you could interpret it to be that way
because
if
his
you
whole
want to.
thing was kill none to save many. Like
Right,
he
yeah.
would not kill even the wolves, even though the wolves were killing everybody.
Right.
He could have killed one person.
Right, but the one thing that made him turn was to save Carol, so he was basically capable of it. It was his first kill in a while.
Yeah.
And then, for the bigger picture, to keep the peace between the kingdom and the saviors, that's what it served, and that was one of the goals that he had. So
Yeah.
to interpret that, you could interpret it. I'm not saying it's. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here in terms of why he did it, but I still don't agree with it at all. I don't agree with any of it. None of it. It doesn't.
I really hope the next 2 episodes are good, and they're probably going to be entertaining. I doubt they're going to be able to mess it up as much as they did in season 3.
I don't know. I mean, they've managed to surprise us in that department every time. Every time, so, they gotta have something by the mid-season finale. They gotta have this. They don't do it.
Yeah.
Like last season, they gotta have. They gotta show who Negan's gonna kill and what happened.
Yeah, it's like this season is finally the season they're gonna pick themselves up by the bootstraps. They're gonna really tuck in their shirts. They're gonna be a respectable show. They're gonna.
That was brutal.
Yeah,
super brutal.
Still enjoy watching it.
I guess.
Less less so lately.
It's really annoying for us to talk about it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, but I can't imagine having a show where we talk about it like we love it.
Why
'Cause
not?
I can't. Well,
we do.
No. Having this same episode,
Oh.
but liking it a lot. And I know some people out there must have loved this episode. I just don't know who. And I'm
I don't
not
know.
saying you're wrong for loving it or liking it, or just tolerating it. It's just I want to love it.
I got the numbers here in terms of
But numbers,
viewers.
Numbers don't mean anything.
Well, it's the viewers. We're looking at what episode is this right now? It's episode
14.
What? Really?
Yeah.
We're at episode 14.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, you're right. So it's just, you have your episode 10. I don't remember what that episode was, but actually episode 9. It was
What are
at
you
12
saying?
million.
Okay.
I'm looking at the numbers right now. So episode 9, it was 12 million people watching, and it still decreased gradually. If you look right here, episode 10, we're at 11.08. Episode 11, 10.42. Then the Rick and Michonne adventure, that was 10.16 million, and then last one, Morgan killing Richard, 10.68. It was a slight jump.
Yeah, but it's like, to me, it doesn't mean that much because really...
Well, it does reflect on the quality, though, in a way.
Well, in a way,
it?
but not really, because even if we hated the episode, we're still watching it next week. We know we're going to watch it next week. So
well, that's us.
So
but can we speak
most
for everybody
people,
else?
because you've invested time into it. So